Hey everyone, Tyler here from Tyler Dice Golf. We're going to do another AMAAG Ask Me Anything About Golf, and this video is also going to be on how to aim with your mid-irons. So those are the two things we're going to be mostly doing. So I'm going to lead off with how to aim with your mid-irons, and then I'm going to wait for some questions. So I'm going to be in here hitting shots, and if any questions come through during my little session here, I'll make sure to answer them as best I can. And if not, then it'll just be me hitting some shots and going over kind of what I do when I'm practicing. So to start off, we're going to talk about how to aim with your mid-irons. So let's grab an 8-iron, which I think we can all agree is a mid-iron. And let's talk about aiming, right? Let's talk about what's going on with your swing, the numbers here. Let's just kind of start from scratch. So with your mid-irons are going to have a fairly straight ball flight. And I would say mid-irons are probably, I would say 8, 7, 6-iron would be your mid-irons. If you didn't want to go with a 6-iron, you want to lump it in the long irons, whatever, so 8 and 7-iron. These irons are pretty, the ball flies pretty straight, so we don't want to necessarily try and play for a lot of movement in the golf ball here, okay? So when you set up, you want everything to be pretty square to your target. Now I've talked about this in other videos, but I'll go over it again. Square to your target does not necessarily mean parallel left by aiming 10 yards left of your target, right? You don't want your feet aiming 10 yards left of the target. So if I take an alignment stick, which is right here, if I take my alignment stick and say my target is, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put the cursor on the screen, right? Put the cursor on the screen. So say my target is right there. Okay, that's my target. We see the cursor on the screen? Right here? That's my target. Your feet are going to be lined up roughly this distance left of the target, okay? So if you see the camera, this distance is about how far left your feet are going to be aimed. So if the ball is going to be going here, my feet need to be aimed right here. And it doesn't get more left the farther the shot goes. It stays right there. Okay, the reason you do that is because if you picture yourself, say your feet are on train tracks, okay? The golf ball's on one side of the tracks, your feet are on the other side of the tracks. If you stand in the middle of the tracks and you look down, those tracks are going, and as you look in the distance, they get closer and closer and closer together until they appear that they're almost touching or are touching. Okay, it's no different with your alignment. So your feet are going to be aimed parallel left of the golf ball, i.e. about 3 feet. Okay? So on something this close, it's going to look like my feet are about 3 feet left of that cursor. So I will do my thing, I will aim at that cursor, and I will try and hit that cursor. And you will notice that my feet are lined up pretty close to 3 feet left of that cursor. I don't know if you can see on the camera, the ball impacted like right here. So I was pretty close. Not necessarily spot on, but I was pretty close. And that's about what you want to do for aiming with your mid-irons. It's not crazy, it's not anything off the wall. Again, I don't want to see people, I shouldn't see people setting up to that cursor and going, way to the left. Oh, I gotta make sure my feet are parallel left. And, I gotta get those feet 10, 15 yards left of the flag to allow for that, parallel left aiming. I see it all the time, I hear it all the time, I don't understand where it's coming from. The train track explanation has worked great for me, and it makes total sense. And if you think about it really, really hard, it makes sense. And so that's how you aim with your mid-irons. Even if you're trying to curve the golf ball a little bit, right? So, aim with the cursor. We're going to hit a little fade, right? So we're going to aim just a hair bit left of where we want to go. That's pretty straight, no big deal. But you see what I'm saying here? It's nothing crazy. Not trying to do anything that we don't normally do. So I'm going to open it up to questions. If anybody has any questions golf related, I'm happy to answer them right now. If there aren't any questions popping up, then I will hit some shots and just kind of talk about what I'm working on when I'm working on stuff. And we'll put the cursor right there. Put the cursor on the screen, that's where I'm aiming. So if anybody has any questions, if you're just popping in, you see this, you have any questions, ask them. Happy to answer any questions. So when I'm hitting golf balls, I always start off with working on my fundamentals, okay? I always try and check stance, alignment, ball position. Those three things are really important to me. If I'm hitting the ball weird, i.e. like not how I normally hit it, I immediately look at posture. So if my golf ball flight's not where I want it to go, and my stance, alignment, and ball position are all good, immediately look at posture. And when I have the machine going, when I have the flight scope going, I am always looking at a few numbers up here. And those numbers are angle of attack, I look at the face to path, I look at the height, I look at spin rate, smash factor, club speed, and carry distance. And my, there it is, oh, club path, there you go. Lastly, club path. So those are all the numbers that I mostly look at. I usually focus in on face to path and path angle, attack angle, height, distance. For me, when I start hitting the ball bad, usually my path, club path angle, and my face to path are getting too far apart. I.e. one's going too far left and one's going too far right. And so when I am hitting the ball bad, those are the two things I look at, and I try and get those to match up a lot better. My goal is to have them 0 and 0, or as close to that as possible. Now I say I want my path to be 0 and 0 as close to that as possible, but in reality, I don't want to get too deep into this. As you go from shorter to longer clubs, you're going to go from a more out to in to more in to out golf swing to have the preferred ball dynamics that you want. So, but anyways, as close to 0 as I can get it. So again, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and ask them. Happy to keep hitting shots until some questions come through. So here's a fun teaching point. So you'll notice the club path was roughly 3 degrees to the right. The face at impact was roughly 1 degree closed to the swing path. However, that ball flight was a slight push. It did not have any curve to the left. So even though my club face was closed to the swing path, the ball didn't curve left at all. And so one of the reasons why that happens is because of your attack angle. Your attack angle being negative is going to cause that golf ball to go right. Okay? And so that's something that you need to consider. Even though you may close your club face down at impact, or have a closed club face at impact, it doesn't necessarily mean your golf ball is going to curve left. There's other factors that are involved. And I'm going to try, I'll try and make it work, but I'll try and get one, say, 3 degrees right and like 1.5 degrees closed with the face. And we'll see if that produces a draw. So that one was virtually dead straight, and the path was 2 degrees the club face was 2 degrees closed to the path that was almost 4 degrees open, or 4 degrees to the right. Okay, so that gave me a straight shot. So if you look at the numbers, you know, they're pretty close, 0.9 degrees and 1.1 degrees. So virtually the same here. The attack angle was 1.9 degrees more steep. So even though on that next one, I got the club face 1 degree more closed, it still didn't give me the draw. Now, let's try and do a very similar swing and see if we can close the club face down a little bit more and see what that gives us. So we finally got the draw that we wanted, but it took a club path that was 4.6 degrees to the right and had a club face that was nearly 6 degrees closed to give me a draw that worked its way 10 yards to the left. Pretty crazy, right? So a 10-yard draw was a club face that was virtually 6 degrees closed to a 4.5 degree in to out golf swing. That's something, isn't it? Remember, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and ask them. So we'll go from that draw. We'll try and hit a straight one here. So very straight shot. Again, club face, 1 degree closed, 2.5 degrees into out golf swing. Not bad, right? So, like I mentioned earlier, as you get longer in the club, your golf swing's going to want to get more into out, right? So if I go from, we'll go from an 8 iron to a 6 iron, okay? And so in to out means in to out, right? So we got that in to out. We have a out to in, out to in. So if we switch gears and go to a 6 iron, there's the cursor. Got the cursor so we know where I'm aiming. We're going to aim at the cursor. So we're trying to hit the cursor here. So we try to hit 6 iron at that cursor. Remember, because I'm switching gears to a 6 iron, ball position is going to move up about an inch from the 8 iron. Okay, not too terribly much. My stance stays about the same width. Pretty much a straight block. And we look at the path, 1.8 degrees right, and a club face that was 1 degree right. So a little block, straight shot, maybe it faded a hair to the right. Virtually identical result. See if we can make a slight change with our aim. So I have a feeling I was aiming a little bit too far to the right with where I was set up on the mat. So I have a little bit of a learning curve. So from where the machine's at, the machine's kind of, it's a few feet from the camera to the right of the camera. So my left, your right, so over here. And it points over here to the center of the screen. However, if I hit balls too close to over in here, which I sometimes do, and hit the end of this cursor, it's going to cause the golf ball to go way to the right. If I get it out here in front of the machine more, see if we can get some better results. Much better. Much better. That's what we're looking for here, right? So a great attack angle, 3.3 down, club path, face to path. Those are some great numbers, especially for me. I think if you would ask anybody, if you said, hey, path is within 2 degrees of, 2 degrees of neutral, face is within 1 degree of path, I think virtually everyone would say, hey, that's pretty awesome. Smash factor on that was 1.43, so I think that's really solid. And the height 100 feet. So look at my height here. That's the kind of consistency you want. 100 feet. That's actually a goal of mine when I'm practicing. I want all my full swing shots to get over 100 feet in the air for the stock shot. So over 100 feet. Yep, club path, 2.6 degrees to the right, 1.6 left. Give me a baby draw. Not too bad, right? .207-yard carry, and I am hitting a 6 iron. Not lying, 6 iron. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. Anything on golf, go ahead and ask them. Just going to stay in here for a while. I'm going to be on here for as long as I feel like being in here. Hurricane's coming tomorrow. Getting the rain starting now, so no videos tomorrow. So we'll just be in here as long as I want to be in here. That one was a little heavy. Yeah, so you see it's a little heavy. So only got 30 yards in the air. versus the other one's getting 33, 34 yards in the air. 30. Well, we got the 115 feet in the air. That's awesome. That's what? That's 35 yards in the air. 113 feet. 34 and a half. That was fat like the last one. If y'all have any questions, go ahead and ask them. I'm going to change some gears. I'm going to hit some hybrids in here. See how this goes. Check for questions. No questions. So this is a little bit of a problem I've been having with the hybrid. This number's no good. Can't have that. I can't have a positive attack angle with my hybrid. What it does is it throws off the dynamics of everything. Okay? It takes off too much spin. It's going to cause the golf ball to want to go too far to the left in a hurry on mishits. It's just no good. Can't have that. And so I got to figure out some ways to get a little bit steeper and shallow out that attack angle. You can see there, my golf swing wants to give me a positive attack angle. Now you might think that a positive attack angle with a club like this is a great option. But in reality, it means the club is all but useless for me in anything but the fairway, which kind of defeats the purpose of a hybrid to begin with. And on top of that, I want to make sure that I can get the height out of the ball that I want. This club typically is going to be being hit off the tee, and so I want to make sure that it carries as far as it needs to carry. I'm not really concerned about it rolling out a ton, because that's not how the club is designed to go, and that's not how I want the club to perform in my golf bag. Now right now, I have this set at 18.5 degrees aloft. And the reason I have it set at that is because I don't currently have a 3-wood in my bag. I only have 13 clubs in my bag. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make a slight adjustment, because normally I have this set at 19.5 degrees aloft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist this and add some loft to it. And what you'll see is that 1 degree difference in loft is going to give me less carry, but it's also going to give me more spin. And I'm hoping it may have a positive effect on the attack angle and allow me to get a little bit steeper. Nope, not on that one at least. Spin rate, that was the spinniest one I've hit so far. Hit that one fat. Oh, good. And so that's the problem with this club, with that attack angle. What's happening is, if I have any sort of movement off the golf ball, I will immediately start hitting the ball fat because of that attack angle, which I don't want. Let's see. That was obviously steeper. That's the steepest attack angle I've had. But when I have a steeper attack angle, the carry distance just goes way down, which is no good. So if I pull out like a 4-iron and a 4-iron. And hit it fat like that. It's no good. Oh, that was a bad one. That was a bad one. Any questions? So for me, when I start hitting the ball fat, I know that I'm moving off the golf ball with too much lateral movement. So I need to focus on staying centered, and I need to focus on making sure my posture doesn't get too hunched over. I mean, there, it's not a great swing. It still went 218 yards. So it's just not it's just not ideal. So that's a great ball flight, but it's just, we'll see what the numbers come out at. Yeah, the attack angle is positive. Swing path, 1 degree right, face the path, ½ degree left, 232 mile an hour, 232 yards in the air. A lot of great there. It's just not ideal with the attack angle. Yeah, see on that one, I moved the ball position back about 1.5 inches. Still at a positive attack angle. So that's the trouble with this. Because of that attack angle, it makes it very, very difficult to fade this club. See if I can try it again. I'll try to hit a fade. I don't know about you, but I don't know too many people that would say 0.2 degree left, 0.1 degree right, 225 carry. don't know about you guys, but that's pretty good. I'm not able to get it to fade, but neutral path, club face is 0.1 degrees closed. Tack angle is 0.5. I can live with 0.5. Carry distance 250. Smash factor 1.47 with a hybrid, with an old hybrid, an oldie but a goodie. We're getting there. We're getting there. That's not good. That's a block fade. It's more of a slice. That's not ideal. I can't control that. That's no good, guys. Check for questions. Megan asks if are there any situations where you'd want the attack angle positive? With a hybrid, you want it to be pretty close to neutral. I'd prefer it like 1 degree down. With a driver, you want all of them to be positive. So you always want to hit up on drivers. All the other clubs you want to have neutral, slightly down. The reason that I'm making a big deal about having the attack angle be negative with the hybrid is that when you get into the 3-wood, the 3-wood is going to be more shallow than the hybrid. And so if you don't want your 3-wood to be 2 degrees, 3 degrees up, you want it to be neutral, this has to be slightly negative. Anyways, that might have been the best one I've hit so far. Hair fade. Any last questions? No. Okay. Well, anyways, guys, I'm all done for the day. Thanks for tuning in. Happy the flight scope worked the entire time. No bugs today. So that's good. Let y'all go. If you like this video and you're watching it later, click like. Gonna be doing more of these after the hurricane leaves town. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you later.